right, everybody. Welcome back to the Grit and Gratitude podcast. This week, we're going to have our episode about comparison zombies. We're going to talk about comparison, how, it can make or break you. It can also propel you or push you back. Nick had a really good quote that we were talking about earlier when we were driving down the road. Nick, share that with us a little bit.
So it kind of came to me when I was in my thoughts. I get in my nice deep thoughts in the morning. And the quote goes as, I might not nail it on the head here, but you suffer more in your imagination than you do reality. And so I just want people to think about that real quick, is that we suffer more in our imagination than reality because we're always worried about something that's not actually really here in the right now, but just something more that we imagine our life would be. We imagine how we would be as a wife, as a mother, as a father, as a coworker or a boss leader. And it's one of those things to where we suffer more thinking about that than just being grateful and happy with where we are kind of in the right now.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can attest to that big time. I'm one of those people that I definitely suffer in my imagination more than reality.
100%.
Another thing, a quote that I've always said is comparison is a thief of joy. Kind of circle that back in, with the same thing, with suffering in your imagination. We're all human and we all compare, whether we're comparing ourselves to what house somebody lives in, car they drive, clothes they wear, shoes, people they hang out with, restaurants they eat at. And, when owning a business, being an employee, being a father or a mother, like you said, or even your kids comparing themselves to other kids,
right.
Creating this imagination and this imaginary world of something that doesn't even exist, and not taking the time to just stop and realize what's right in front of you,
Yeah.
What's that kind of mean to you, Kenny? Like, with suffering in your imagination?
Well, to me, I don't suffer really in my imagination. I stopped imagining. If you blooper. Anyways, I stopped imagining and just focus what's in front of me. Like I mentioned before, you can have all these goals and aspirations of what you wanted to do and what you wanted to be by a certain time, and I just don't have that, because you're not gonna. If you don't get there, then you're down on yourself. So, with me, I just live life daily.
So let me ask you, I'll jump in on that, is that you're talking about how before you used to, and Wade, you can attest to it as well. And so anybody in reality, you've always in my 30s, I want to have a house bought. In my 40s, I want to have, a lake house, I guess, if you will, or whatever the case is that if you ever put a timeline on something, have you ever felt like a failure because you didn't reach that specific goal, say back in your 20s?
If you put a timeline on it, absolutely.
You feel like a failure.
Yeah.
But what about all the other successes that you've had along the way?
You don't really think of those when you start back to look at it, because you sit there and you have it on your vision board, like you mentioned. You got it here. By the time I'm 30, I'm going to have a house. All right, well, I don't have a house, so now I fail because I don't have a house. But in reality, what are you doing outside? You know what I mean? So that's the way I see it.
Have you always been that way, or do you think it's something that
it grew on me?
It grew on you.
Yeah, especially when I had kids, because you put them first, and then having that house at 30 doesn't matter. You want your kids to be happy, and you want your kids to have all these nice things, and everything takes a backside. And when they're out of the house, then my journey begins again.
Yeah, and then you feel like then, or do you feel like then you'll be able to, some of those things. I know Nick, we talk about vision boards, and I have a vision board that I have multiple ones, and they have changed so much over the last 2 years, 3 years, that I'm like, whoa. But even you having a vision board and, having kids, and that changes. And then do you feel like it just kind of gets put on hold while you, not just with kids, but, circumstances in life, finances or whatever. And you have do you feel like you have two choices to kind of adapt and be like, okay, this is just how it is for now. It's on pause. Once we get to X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to start working towards those? Or are you continually thinking that, hey, if I put this, this, and this in and keep doing this, like inputs and outputs, that I'm going to be able to have that particular car. Or, you know, like earlier you were like, you know, at one point I thought I was going to have a big old house, driving a Benzo, you know, listen to Cypress Hill, big house, 5 cars, you know.
Well, to answer your question, and it's going to sound corny, but when my kids were born, man, my life went on hold. It's been on hold, and it'll be on hold until my son leaves the house. So I got 13 years, but I'm not counting, you know. But once they leave the house, dude, then I've got money, and me and my wife, we can
29 days, 70 seconds.
Sounds like to me you're counting over there, bud.
might
You
be
were real
counting
quick
down.
on that 13 years, boys and girls.
You
But
need
I'm
to
not
keep it like
counting.
this.
You got to understand the age
13
gap, though.
years. I'm not counting. Hold on a minute.
I got
2
a
weeks,
15-year-old
3 days,
and a 5-year-old.
3 minutes and 72 seconds.
I had the white light at the end of the tunnel where I was like, oh,
Now
shit.
it's 71 seconds.
Boom. Yeah. So I don't know, man. My life's been on hold. That's why I don't really react to things the way that I should. And, you know, when I get pissed off, I just let it go. I don't let it bother me because my life's on hold.
Do you still have things in, like, so let's talk a little bit about the imagination side of this.
Let's bombard Kendrick all podcast.
Yeah, let's do
Bombard
it.
me.
No,
so I can have
let's talk a little bit about the imagination side of it, because imagination can mean many different things to people. You know, imagination can be, you know, like we talked about, a vision board or goals. But you saying, you know, you're kind of putting your life on hold because now with the kids and things like that, do you still have things in your imagination or that you want to have in life? Or are you just kind of like, do you feel like you're just putting your life on pause and you're going to wait until, okay, now I can do whatever I want. I don't know what I want to do, but I can do whatever I want or have whatever I want.
Yeah, so I mean, with it being on pause, I still have things that I want. You know, like I still want a TRX truck, right? And I've been wanting one for a long time.
I know a guy.
Yeah, me too. But I've been wanting one of those. But at the same time, it's one of those to where, you know, the kids take priority and call me crazy, but they get what they want before I get what I want. If I can't afford to get my TRX and be able to keep my daughter in cheer or be able to keep my son in sports, then I'm not going to do it. It's just not fair to them. So I only got
but I want to circle into that a little bit, because there's something that I'm going to bring to the table that you guys all know that I've been doing over the last couple of months, a little longer than that, trying to work on myself and putting some boundaries up, but also having goals for Wade as a person, right? Yeah. As a human being. Do you feel, God dang, what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't even know the word I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a really big word, and I can't remember it.
Where's Webster?
No shit.
ChatGPT.
Do you feel, I'm going to use the simple word, guilt. Do you feel guilty?
Animosity?
No, more guilty. Do you feel more guilty if you do things for you right now?
So you mean like selfish?
Yes.
Was that the big word?
No, it was not the big word. But if you want to say that, yeah.
Selfish. Too selfish.
I got you,
But
bro.
do you think that it's selfish?
To put yourself first?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, I could make my kids suffer, and I could go get anything that I wanted to get. Me and my wife, we make pretty good money together.
You would not make your kids suffer.
But I'm saying
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, what is your idea of suffering though? Because I feel like you personally, like I'm not even going to say goal because it's a lifestyle for you, but one thing that you're really adamant on is taking care of yourself,
absolutely,
health wise.
Yeah,
like. I know you could say whatever you want, but I know that when it comes down to you working out and taking care of yourself, you're going to make sure that gets done every day no matter what.
But hear me out. The times that I work out, I'm grateful.
Dude, yeah. There's a reason this guy works out at like midnight.
I'm grateful enough to have a job where I'm able to take a 2-hour lunch and go home and work out. No one's at home.
What job would let you do that?
Right.
Shit, dude.
Hashtag dream job.
Friggin'
This is a place
dude.
to be, you know? Place to be. Anyways, but so it just varies, man. So like I don't put my gym time in front of my family time. I wait till everybody's a bit in bed, and then so I'll work out in the morning at 4:30 if I can get up that early. And then I'll work out over lunch, and then I'll go home and work out at night. But I always wait until my kids are asleep. And my wife, she works overnight. So, I mean, it's when I'm by myself that I go do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't go home and work out with my son. I'd rather go home right at 5:30, go home, work out for an hour and a half than trying to wait until 10, 11 o'clock to get enough energy to go downstairs,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So take care of yourself, but I don't make the kids suffer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was more of looking at it as doing things, not, you don't want to, like, I feel like if it's one thing when you become a young parent like we were.
Yeah.
And I mean, Nick, you technically were pretty young for a parent too, even, given
I mean, I was
your
married
age.
at 19, so I count
Right.
that.
So,
too,
like,
kind of thing.
You're more of an adult.
I had to
than
be
me.
a big boy when I was 19.
When your kids, like you and I have teenagers that are, they might as well, they take care of themselves. They're never home. They do whatever the hell they want, and then we have little ones. But, you start to realize a little bit where, for me, I'll tell you, being a business owner and having all the things that I got going on, I'm always doing something. I'm always, busy, running with my head cut off, never slowing down. And sometimes I'm starting to learn that I have to do something for me, or else then I think it builds a little resentment when you don't do something for you, because you're like, damn, I'm doing this, and this every day in, day out, and I'm getting sweated over this. Like, I'm trying to do something for me too, because we're all human, dude. We all can only handle so much before it's like, I got to do something to make myself happy too, and that's why talking about this imagination, and like you putting your, saying that, hey, I kind of put my dreams and my imagination on hold. I don't know how you do it, because for me, I've done it too. And then now I'm at a stage where I'm like, man, dude, like, I'm not getting any younger. Hypothetically, your kids are going to live with you into their late 20s or, dude, could be 30s.
But age is just a number.
Yeah, I understand that. Age is just a number, but time isn't. Time's not your friend, big dog.
Time's not a friend. But
time's not a friend, and that's one of those things where, if it's one, I will tell you from personal experience of being a young parent just like you, that I'm learning that age is just a number. I understand that. There are 70 and 80-year-old people out that are in better shape than 30-year-olds, us.
Yeah.
But they keel over dead in 1 year. Why? Well, because time is not your body's friend.
Exactly.
Or your brain. You can be as healthy as you are, right?
Right.
I actually saw this on YouTube, and it freaked me out, dude. This dude's wife goes and sees him every 2 days. I bet he's, how old is he? I think he's like 45, dude. And he's already got dementia and Alzheimer's, dude.
Damn.
Full blown, barely knows his wife, and he's in a assisted living home, right? Like, so that's where my brain went. I'm like, whoa, time out here. Okay, so you're telling me, like, I had no idea that, it's common. It's common. It's common that young people get dementia and Alzheimer's at an early age. So I was like, holy shit. It takes a whole different level, because people are like, well, you're not going to die tomorrow. You get fucking dementia and Alzheimer's, you're done.
Good luck.
Everything that you're, but then here's what someone said to me. They were like, well, you wouldn't know then about all the dreams and stuff that you wanted. Yeah, you do. He still does. Like, his wife will come in, and they'll chat, and like hey honey, and she's like, hey honey, but they have kids, bro, and he don't remember the kids.
Jeez, that would suck.
Don't remember the kids. So she'll bring him dinner, and like, there's times where she'll come in, because I watched it. I went down a rabbit hole, dude. It's crazy, because he doesn't remember his kids, and like, his wife will come in, and I watched one last night, and he's sitting there, and she comes in, and they're like YouTube shorts,
Right.
and she'll come in, and he always wears headphones. Mm-hmm. Like, I think he's probably listening to music or when he's watching something on his phone, and it's a full-blown assisted living. And she'll come in, he'll be eating most of the time he's eating, and she'll look at him, and like, there's times where he doesn't know who she is, or he's really agitated, because people with dementia and Alzheimer's, mm-hmm. they get really agitated because they're not they have good days and they have bad days, but their bad days with the agitation is because they know something's off. They don't know what, they don't know why, but they're agitated.
Right. Yeah.
And she was like, are you, he said like, I'm really agitated or annoyed or something like that today. And she's like, well, with me. And he kind of like, he just like smiles and knows like he does. I don't think he quite knows who she is, but he kind of does. And he doesn't want to say like, I'm annoyed, get the hell out of here. And she's like, no, are you? If so, I'll leave. And he's like, no, it's okay. But like, you don't know, man. Like, that's why when you said that and like talking about this whole, situation and your imagination and putting things on pause, like it changes a different, that's not the only thing for me, but that really has, because you just never know, dude. And I'm never going to be that guy. And I don't think you should be that guy or gal that's like, never know, might die tomorrow. So you can't take, hear this, can't take your money with you when you die. If I had a penny for every dude that I've heard say that, I'd be a millionaire. But when it comes to you as a person, though, I think there's a little bit there where it's okay to kind of be selfish and be like, man, I gotta live too. And sometimes living for your kids that's what brings you happiness. Like I could tell you, I want different things in life, but if my kids are genuinely happy and the people that are just the closest people in my life are happy, then I'm good with that. I'll die a happy man doing that.
There you go.
And I still want things. I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh, I don't care if I'm broke as shit and everybody is happy around me, because I'd be a liar. And there are people that say that, which, just so everybody knows, they're full of shit, because that's not a fact.
So with that said, though, with your son, right? So this is what kind of hit home for me. My daughter, I'd say when she turned 12 is when we were detached from the hip, if you will. She was everywhere I went, man. She was with me, Dad. You're going to the store. Can I come with you? I'm just going to get gas. I don't care. Can I come with you? Okay. Well, so my son, he'll be 5 in September, and it's like, oh, shit, dude, I only got 7 years left. And who knows if I even got 7 years, because then they develop their own friendships, and all of a sudden, Dad's not cool anymore. And then you could probably attest to this. When you're watching sports, my friend, do you have to watch kids shows on the big TV? Because I'll tell you this, I was watching Game 4 yesterday on my cell phone. My son watching Blippi on the 75-inch TV.
Oh, dude, the old Blippi or the new Blippi?
The new
My
Blippi.
wife knows. My wife knows, and my kids
the new
know.
Blippi,
The giant TV is mine.
Yeah.
100%. But I always have Lyle shows going on the little TV. But that whole debacle.
That must be nice.
Not to change the subject, because I love this topic here.
We're peasants amongst a king.
No.
Right.
Remember when that debacle went down with my TV?
Peasants amongst a king.
No. Remember when that debacle went down with my TV and I had to buy another 75-inch screen TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Pinky swoop. Oh, come on. Nope,
You got it.
Nothing.
That's
okay.
the pinky swoop right there.
So,
Shit, that's
so
chump
anyways,
change, player.
now
That's
that
chump
TV
change.
is downstairs where it's nice and cool in my house. So my beautiful wife, she does everything for me. Love her to death. She knows if I don't get that big TV upstairs, where's Big Daddy going? I'm going downstairs where it's nice and cool.
Do you have a
with that
bathroom
other big
downstairs?
TV down there? Absolutely. And a couch and a bed. So the big TV upstairs.
So a
is
whole
fine.
living quarters.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
When I'm in the doghouse, I'm in the basement.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad doghouse.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Right?
That's
a
not
lot
really a
cooler
doghouse.
down there.
That's the palace.
But no, to kind of touch on it, because you guys are going back and forth, I want to have my 2 cents. I like to hear myself talk every once in a while. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Stare at the camera when you're doing it, though.
All right, I'm staring at the
Hey,
camera. And
listen
I'm
with
gonna
your
be talking
eyes.
to you.
Listen with your eyes.
But no, so actually, you'll kind of remember this. So yesterday, I had a buddy of mine reach out to me. He watched one of our viewers from our last podcast about him essentially living in the imagination right now, because workplace culture and whatnot that we talked about last week, and the imagination that he has on how his workplace culture should be, instead of just taking the good with the bad and being in the reality right now of this is where you're at. You can make the best of it, or you can make the worst of it. Which choice are you going to make? And it's more of he's suffering in his imagination on how he sees how our company runs, and then he sees how these other companies run, and then he's at the company he's with, and the imagination on how that company should be like ours. That company should be, family friendly, whatever you want to call
Just
it.
a good,
small,
culture, camaraderie. Having
And-
a good expectation, appreciation, all those things
Right.
that.
No, and that's one thing that pops in my mind when I think about this is that's another way, not even as a father or a husband or a dad. Father and dad are the same thing, but that's another way of looking into suffering in the imagination instead of reality is also in a workplace.
Yeah.
Employees do it every day. They're imagining, unfortunately, they're imagining that they're all worth $100,000 a year.
Right.
Right. I think we would all attest to that.
And I mean, we talked about it too. Literally, the grass isn't always greener, but the shit's just as deep, or the grass is greener where you water it. But yeah, we all have. The world's made it easy, though. The world's made it easy to have this imagination.
The prime's greener.
The prime is. Yeah, it is. I don't prefer the green. I
Prime's
prefer. Just so you know, Logan, I do prefer your hydration drink. Let's go ahead and prime. In this cherry freeze, I'm going to tell you, fire. And I'm the cherry king. So if you want to sponsor us, hit us up. We're the best garage door company you're ever going to work with. We're the most professional. We'll give you the best experience. And guess what? We'll support your brand. Even though we do know that there is a small amount of PFAs. We understand. We're perfectly okay with it.
Since we're doing a promotional break real quick, I do want to bring this up. So give me a second here, guys. Just give me a sec. Superior Swag. Look the guys up. Look at these hats that we have here that everybody is wearing. Sorry about my nice hairdo. I wear a hat every day. Superior Swag, great company. They make great hats. This one's a patch hat here. One day if you're feeling off, just take it off. You know what I'm saying? Then you put it back on. And then here you go. Your day's a little bit brighter. But
It's like a built-in QVC.
yeah, seriously, all the
commercial.
hats that
That's
we wear, Superior Swag makes them. Great guy.
We know the owner. He's awesome.
Yeah, he can kind of make some custom designs with it, kind of whatever floats your boat. So with our promotional break here on Prime and Superior Swag, now we'll give it back to you, Wade.
Well, we're going to touch base on that Prime promotion. When you're at WrestleMania, Logan, we can change your garage door too.
Yeah, and we do want to let you know, well, I don't know, but they do know that they took your drink off of SportsCenter. Was that right? Or ESPN? Who was it?
Oh, dude, it was a press conference.
Press conference?
Yep,
We're
press
not going to
conference
do
after
that
a
to
game.
you. We are going to support you fully. So don't forget about us. When we got 1 million subscribers, we're still going to be drinking your shit. So don't forget.
Impulsive.
You know what? In here, let me throw this out here because I am pretty good at marketing. The garage door industry needs a good hydration drink to keep all those technicians hydrated in the heat. And Prime is your one-stop shop for the ultimate hydration.
Prime.
Anyways.
No, that was kind of cool. But anyways,
But back to what we were talking about. In the workplace, man, we all have this perception is super freaking skewed. We talked about it today in the truck because that's kind of how this podcast got brought up. In everybody, we have to go experience and can't stay at one place, be with one person, have one friend or 5 friends throughout your whole life. We have to go and experience different things to really understand what's out there,
Right, 100%.
what our imagination believes versus what
really
the fucking
reality is. Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Because it's not what we think it is.
Oh, no.
And when we talk about the workplace, everybody's worth $100,000, but they do everything they can to get out of work when they're working or not doing the things that are required of them, bare minimum. At par
Doing the job
and
that we
doing the job they were hired to do, but then the expectation gets held on the business owner, the managers. Well, time out here. You're living. Well, I could go, then go, and now that's what we're starting to see. We've seen this whole shift in. I can go wherever I want and get paid. Do it. Bye, because I already know the value you bring. And the issue that we talked about earlier is you can give, and not just employees, you can give your relationship, your friendship, being a father sometimes, being anybody, you can give it your all to where you have nothing left to give. And if it is, you've exhausted every penny, every emotion, and guess what? They still don't give a shit.
Right.
Because the reality
Same
of it
result.
is until you have those experiences and go out and try something different, meet something new, try a different business to work for, try a different hydration drink, you're really not going to know. And
Agreed.
that is where this is so deep and wide that we could talk about it over and over, because it drives me crazy when people, well, I could do this or I can do that. Okay, then do it.
Right.
Why don't you do that here?
Are you going to be happy
Right.
doing it?
Well, it's not
Exactly.
even-
and that's part of it is everybody equates happiness to what?
To money.
Right.
And
I'm here to tell you that's not.
well, and I can tell you that too. Everybody knows that the followers and listeners we have, I own some businesses, and they think, owning a business and you're just balling out of control and cashing checks and breaking necks. No, and that's not what it's about. There are people that's what it's about, but it's about being happy, because I genuinely love coming to work every day. I don't make millions of dollars.
It's not.
I'm not some baller, I enjoy every person that I work with. I enjoy the jobs that I do, the ideas that I have, and all these crazy things, where most people don't get that. Where they come to a job every day and
they're ready to go home.
and they're ready to
walk in
go
the
home
door.
before they hit the door, and it's like, why? They don't even know why, though.
Right.
And they're just like, because. Well, what do you think's going to change that? A dollar amount ain't going to change that. Well, because what's a dollar amount going to do? When you get more dollars amount, what's it do, Kenny? It requires more time,
Yeah.
more responsibility.
Well, and that'll also be your comparison thing that you were talking about too. You could have the big house and the big car and the nice car, but you could hate your job. So money is not everything.
And I believe this. I do believe this, because I've met enough people. I think more people are unhappy being financially rich, having wealth, not even wealth's good, being rich, having abundance of money. And people talk about all the time, oh, just because they're rich doesn't mean they're happy. No shit. The reality of it is everybody's happiness is different, but I don't believe that any amount of money can buy you happiness. And people are like, can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you cars and houses, and that makes you happy. You see their shirts and all these other influencers, and it's like, that's not the reality of it, dude.
Right.
It's just not.
Right.
You only see what they want you to see.
Yeah, that's the highlight reel. I use that term a lot because it freaking sucks, because then we get employees and people and friends, they believe this shit, man. And it's like, no. And then that goes back to you're suffering in the imagination. Your imagination is running fucking wild and thinking that if you're like them, that they're happy. They shut that thing off, boop, and they're probably screaming, yelling, who knows, wanting to eat a bullet.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't I'm just going back. Wasn't there like a mom or like two moms that were on like a TV show?
Holy shit, dude.
You get
You're
what I'm
talking about
saying? Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're talking about the chicks in Utah.
Yeah.
And they freaking the two kids and they had them all malnourished.
Yeah. So you
Yep.
talk about turning that screen off. What was
Dude.
really going on behind all that?
Imagination. They're man, what was her name?
I don't
Anyways, you can look it up. It's
Yep.
crazy. So she had 4 kids, husband, and her best friend was a counselor, dude.
Yep.
Like marriage counselor and all this. And I can't remember if they were Mormon. I think they were Mormon. They were Utah. Don't quote me on that, but I think they were Mormon. Anyways, it ended up the lady that was the counselor brainwashed the other lady, which is complete bullshit. And the one son and daughter, they locked them up in the basement of the house, didn't feed them, kind of beat them, and the one little boy escaped her house when she sent him away to the counselor's house for behavioral issues. Sent him there. The one boy got away, was all, could you tell he was tied up, ran to the neighbor's house, told him. Well, come to find out, they started digging through all this. Dude, her YouTube channel had it was over 1 million subscribers, and some of the stuff she was doing on her podcast, her YouTube channel, like the one, she had an older son where he got in trouble, took everything out of his bedroom, dude, and made him sleep on the floor with nothing for months. And it was on YouTube, and that's how I punish my kids. And people watch this shit, right? And just like that whole thing, they got obsessed with the life, the money, because they started making a bunch of money and getting a lot of followers from all that different crazy shit. And when the camera was off, next thing you know, literally, dude, they were physically abusing these kids, not feeding them, malnourished for days, and that's the whole thing. Like, people get brainwashed by it,
Right. And and they sit there and they live in those people's imaginations. Imagine the people that lived up to or looked up to them.
Hey, that's what. Yeah,
And
they
then-
did the same thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's talk about our boy Diddy.
Yeah. Oh,
Same
dude.
thing.
That's been going
Same
on for
thing.
years, and all these
I
people
know.
have been outing him, and
Yep.
nobody does nothing. Why? Because he's
Yep.
got the cheddar, and
Right.
nobody, and he's got the best life ever. He's P Diddy, and he's
Right.
no. This dude is openly raping people in
Right.
his house at parties, and celebrities have watched it,
Right.
and they don't say nothing, and
No.
it's like, and you got people looking up to this dude.
Right. And that's brings it back to the imagination and people suffering in their imagination instead of reality, and just, I mean, in a sense of a way, not to
Oh,
make
this
it
one working me up,
sound,
dude.
Yeah, sound condescending, but it's like, worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Because
I've-
that's where it comes from. Worry about yourself.
'cause
Worry
I've
about your
been there,
family.
man.
I mean, yeah, keep your circle tight. Okay, keep your circle tight. Worry about your friends as well, because you don't have friends in a tight circle. You have family. Period. End of story. But yeah, dude, it's one of those things to where I just don't want to get too off topic about celebrities, because then that's us being in the imagination of the celebrities.
Yeah, no.
But no, imagination and reality. So yeah,
Yeah,
lost
you
my train
just
of thought
brain
there.
farted.
Yeah, dude, hardcore, dude.
Brain dump.
I know, dude.
No,
That's
we
cool.
got a little off
Oh,
topic
bing
with it, but
bong.
like it sucks because in the society and world we live in, like we do compare. We all do it. I do it
Every
You
day.
know, I'm where I'm at, and I see people I know. I'm like, man. I wonder where they, in my mind, like there's people I look up to in business, and I'm like, I wonder where they were at my age, you know? Like, am I on track? But am I doing the right thing? Am I building the business that they were kind of building? Am I gonna? And I get caught up in that where I'm like, dude, I'm building my own business. I'm building my own journey, right? I got to remember that they're not me, I'm not them. So our journeys and what we're doing is different. So it's me sitting here comparing myself consistently, you know, doesn't do me any good, although it does happen. You know, like I'm sure you've probably, you know, in your fitness journey and the things that you've done over the years have compared yourself to people that you've looked up to in the weightlifting community and in
I look up to
bodybuilding.
Kendrick.
You know, so I mean, like, how has that affected you at all, Kenny? Like,
In my younger years, yes, it did. I thought if you spent hours and hours upon the gym, you'd look like Ronnie Coleman. No.
little did you know, you
Maybe
need a
tell you.
whole
Ronnie
lot
Coleman?
of you need a whole lot of injectables.
Lightweight.
Yeah. So I mean,
What
I
about
don't-
Callie?
I don't really look up. Yeah.
Dude, how crazy is that?
Have you seen him?
Yeah, you were telling me about it, and I went and looked at him. I'm like,
Have you looked at him lately?
Yes.
His skin looks like he looks like an AI character.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the fruit he's eating.
Dude, I drank a lot of that hyphy mud though.
Dude,
Didn't end up like him.
Does he? Yeah. Does he still make that?
Dude, no,
Oh.
he eats fruit.
I know. But
that's
does
what
he
his
still
hyphy
make-
mud is. He's like, you want hyphy mud? You're gonna want to eat this banana and some watermelons today.
Dude, yeah, that's true. No, and the hyphy burrito, which none of you guys want anything to do with.
That's disgusting.
Disgusting. You made that one time several years ago.
No, it's like, dude, this is sick. I ate it
looked
a
like
lot
raw
on.
hamburger.
Dude, I
But
ate it
think
a lot
about
on
that. Like,
deployment,
think
bro.
about those early years of in the bodybuilding and all that.
Yeah.
How many people
All
looked up to him, and you know, any of these people,
Jay
and
Cutler,
like,
Arnold
dude,
Schwarzenegger.
and now ruined their
all
bodies,
of them.
ruined
Yeah, absolutely.
everything.
Look at that 19-year-old kid.
Oh, dude, I know who you're talking
Sam-
about.
Sam Sulik? Yeah.
Sulik. That
Yeah.
dude's crazy. And Nick Walker.
Yeah.
He's a yeah.
Why are
These
you
guys
talking
just-
about me?
Yeah.
It's
no,
a
dude.
joke. It's
No,
a
it's not.
joke.
This is actually
19 years old, and the dude's 19 years old, and he looks 35.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Packing heat.
what do
Yeah.
you think?
And then
What do you?
he's out of breath. Have you seen his video?
Yeah, dude.
He'll be out of breath after like 3 reps, and it's like,
Well, your body is only meant to carry so much, and like
Right.
these guys, you know, you're putting all that on a small frame, and next thing you know, you're sitting there going, dude, they're on CPAPs before they're 25.
yeah,
Seriously, I'll bet you that dude sleeps with a CPAP.
yeah. But see, they don't.
So we're
know the
telling Kendrick he needs to chill out.
Yeah, you know.
I don't think I've ever heard Kendrick, you know,
Dose. I like the dose.
when his nose
every
is
day.
plugged. Yeah, then
No,
I'm
when he
like-
hits
I'm
his
like,
vape
hey,
in the
dude.
office.
Yeah, I hear that thing burning, and I'm like, the office is gonna come falling down.
That's why I'm never frustrated.
That's how Kendrick keeps his cool. He's like, I got the vape.
No, it's kind of funny though, talking about comparison. I'll jump in here. I love my wife to death. She is way too good for me. But it's funny because she always brings all this stuff up, and I just look at her with a blank stare. And then she goes,
Like the comparison, like
yeah.
oh,
And then
where
she goes,
people
let me
are at.
guess you don't care. And I'm like, you nailed it. Because I don't. And I try not to compare myself, but I do think that she is starting to realize a heck of a lot more now is that she's a people pleaser. Anybody that knows my wife knows that she's a people pleaser. And it's one of those things that she's willing to compare what we look like as a family compared to everybody else. And it's like, dude, right. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't have time to care for this.
No, because it shouldn't matter what everybody else thinks.
Right.
Like, I'm that way with you guys know, like
Right.
my kids, I'm like, the way I parent, the way I talk to my kids, the way I discipline, like when I go somewhere, like I was somewhere the other day and a lady was there with her kid, and I'm not one to judge. I just don't. But the kid he was probably 6 or 7. Just in a small area, confined in an office, screaming, yelling, back talking. Give me that phone. If you don't give me that, I'm gonna I'm like, dude. And she's like, stop it, honey, you know. And like, in my mind, I'm like, no, what you need to do is go pull him aside and give him a good ass whooping. You
Put
know,
a boot in his
but that
ass.
is
It's
where
the
people.
American
That's
way.
where people are
Can't
like.
do that anymore, though.
Yeah.
You
no
go over
shit.
there and pop
Just
him in the
saying.
mouth.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you know, hey,
You can't. Yeah.
you know, get one of them little rubber hands that you see like people do the videos with.
Or the
And
little
you-
clappy
you
hands
didn't-
and just go.
Yeah, because you didn't hit him with your hand. You're just like, yeah, give him a couple whacks of that little thing, shut his ass right up. But I'm just like that.
Give him a
you know,
bump.
I think a lot of people are more like apt to be like, I don't want to be judged. Hey, do you? Tell him you're going to be bad. When we get home, come up with a code word. When we get home, you're getting flugazied.
Pickles.
That means you're getting an ass whooping.
You're getting the good old 1-2.
You're getting, and then he knows. Like if you say that, it's about to go down.
I'm gonna hit you with the
Kid
3
goes to
4s.
daycare. I'm gonna
hey,
get Fugazi when I get home if I don't.
when we
listen
get
to you.
home, you're getting fugazi'd. And if someone looks
The
at you
fear
like,
of
"What's
God
a fugazi?"
should come in their eyes.
Yeah, and they're like, "I don't know what a fugazi is, but I don't want one of those."
And he starts
Holy
talking shit to
shit!
his friends, and he's like, "I'm a Fugazi your
Yeah,
ass."
yeah. What's that? I don't know what that is. But you know what I mean? Like,
No,
you know, people are so worried about that and being comparing themselves, like, "Oh, the perfect family." There's no perfect family, and kids aren't perfect. What you guys hear me say this all the time? Kids aren't robots.
Yep.
Like,
Beep, boop.
people aren't robots either, and when we treat them like that or when they act like that,
I live a very robotic lifestyle though because I'm very routinistic, and you guys know that.
you are when it comes to like that, but your routine and your actions like leading up to your day. But outside of that, you're not robotic at all. But
That's
so
good.
is he though. Like you two have the routine, like you're just like it's
Mr.
I'm doing
Analytical.
this, I'm doing this, I'm doing
That's
this.
me, baby.
Where like me, I'm the opposite. I'm like, dude, I'm rolling out of bed, and I'm just gonna do whatever needs to be done.
That's the thing is that.
And if you try to put me on a routine, I can't do it.
So I kind of agree with that because my wife gives me smack all the time about it too because I'm always last second. I'm not very. She always likes to plan things out.
I can't. Nope. I can't do
dude.
that.
My life 1/4 mile at a time. Who said that?
Yeah. R.I.P. Paul Walker.
1/4 mile at a time.
Yeah,
That's what
we're
I tell
gonna
her all
miss
the time. Yes, Paul Walker, great
It's
guy.
been a long day without you, my friends. All right.
Chime in, bro.
No, dude, I
About
don't.
it
Dude,
when
I
I
sing songs when they're
see you
on, so then my
again.
voice can be covered. Did you play it? Bring it up.
We would
Dude.
literally do it. You just had to home.
Dude, fun fact.
What?
Good friend of mine,
Ooh, me?
Chris, my buddy Chris. You know Bruno.
Wow.
Yeah.
His cousin Brandon.
Is cousins with Paul Walker.
Nope. When he died, he made a really good tribute. So yeah, Paul Walker, R.I.P.
Dude,
But
I'm going to tell you that today could have been literally the GOAT of podcasts, but we've had so many hiccups and we still made it work.
I know, dude. There was a lot going on coming in and out of here. Pauses, people coming in, trucks showing up at 5 o'clock.
I don't know, dude. The record button's the one that's getting me, but it's
Yeah,
all
I
good.
know.
Listen. Here's what happened. We
23
put
and a half
Kendrick on
minutes.
blast. Kendrick was supposed to. Kendrick
whoa.
was supposed to be on point.
Kendrick did take
Dude,
it.
all I
Kendrick
did is
talked
I-
more. Kendrick talked more in this one podcast
You better
than he
watch
has
Dude,
any of
I'm
them
just
combined. I'm
saying,
just saying.
I hit I came
and
in,
watch
I went to
this.
hit the button.
We're gonna
Anyways.
get
Next thing you
8
know,
less subscribers.
Anyways, let's close it out here, though.
that's how I feel about this moment.
Nick,
No,
is
but for
your-
real, let's close it out here.
close it out.
Everybody, I would like to close it out today. Is that I want everybody to realize and remember is that reality is right in front of you, and that you don't need to worry about your imagination. Yes, you always need to dream big, but if you get lost in your imagination and start stressing about that, you're not going to be able to live in the reality and live in the right now. Remember that. Close it out.
Yep, that's a mic drop right there.
Mic drop.
Yep.
Love
So,
you all. Thanks for the support. Out.
Smash that subscribe and that like button. If you don't, I got your metadata, and I will find you.
You didn't even drop it. You said
See
it
you
down.
next
That's
week.
what we call a mic set down. See ya.